Thank you.
Hello, I am a good friend actually of the community, so I'm super excited to be here also today. I am a certification services business manager at Veeam. So mainly what that means is that I take the program from those who develop it and I bring it to the market. Every time that you see somewhere Vim University PRO, that's me or my team behind. And I take the program from hands such as Beason, who are the brain behind. So Beason, give the floor to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope the day finds you as well as it did me. My name is Beason Wilkes. I'm the enterprise technical content creator here at Tsunati and have the pleasure of working with Veeam and specifically like people like Federica who do an amazing job, marketing and providing a platform for such training. So I'm all about enablement. It's natural to say that I love Veeam software. It's what gives me this seat. And it's honestly just a pleasure to be able to talk to you guys about the learning opportunities, the options, and just the transitions and the changes that are being made with the VMCE program. It's awesome stuff.
Great. Thanks, Beeson. So let's go over today's agenda that Federica, Beeson, and myself will be talking about. Introductions, of course, was already done. We're going to talk about changes to Veeam University, talk about Veeam University Pro, what it is and how that's different from standard Veeam University. VMCE changes, those with a current VMCE certification, what changes are coming your way, if any? Federica is going to go over that for us. And then Tsunati trainings for Veeam certifications and other information that may provide some benefit to you. Some Veeam VMCE exam tips, Veeam VMCE FAQs, and then closing remarks and any audience questions. Feel free to ask questions during the discussion, and I will try and answer them for you or reach out to Beason and Federica, try and interrupt them in a polite way so they can answer your questions for you. So with that, I want to turn it over to Federica. I am going to stop sharing my screen.
You were not sharing. I was not watching your screen
Oh,
actually, but it's
oh,
okay. I mean,
okay,
it's
okay.
You're on a roll. I don't want to stop you.
All I did was
all
just
right.
show an agenda slide, so that's all. Okay, good.
Oh, you see my screen, right? You see my presentation?
I do. Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm listening someone. Okay, cool. So first of all, many of you already are familiar maybe with the new brand of Vim University. Oh, hold on, oh, I mute someone. So you're maybe familiar with the Vim University new brand. So we have put together the learning paths that we have in Vim all together. So what it was known as Vim University, it is now known as Vim University Free. This is a series of trainings that you can find on the vim.com. I always call them like the catalog that you receive when you purchase some item, some phone. You get the free catalog, and it's helpful, especially for customer to get on board. Then you have the Vim IQ that has now been rebranded as Vim University Partners. This is a series of, it's about 180 trainings that are available on our Pro Partner portal. So you have to be a partner to access to them. Some of those trainings are required for maintaining your metal level. And then we have the Veeam University Pro, which is the area where Beason and myself, we work on, which is the highest level of trainings. These trainings, once you attend them, you have the possibility to sit in the exam, and get an industry recognized certification. And so if we double click on the Vim University Pro, this is what you will see currently It's not okay. Now it's working. It's how the program will look like starting from now. So you still have your VMCE certification that many of you already know, and it's the main topic of this presentation. So this training is still available, instructor-led or e-learning, and we are introducing this new bundle. For now, it's just the training, this new bundle of trainings that will compose the VMCE certification. SE stands for Security Expert. And one of the experts, or maybe the best expert in this call to speak about this training is Beason. So Beason, can you give us some introduction of these three trainings?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we kind of roll the clock back, I want to kind of put a spotlight on Veeam University Free. And roll the clock back even further, if you will, and tell you about my experience. I mean, back in 2017, I barely knew what a virtual machine was. As degrading as that may be, it was the free lessons that really were the catapult, if you will, that really launched me into finding out not just what I didn't know, but it gave me the courage and the ability to span out to other surrounding technologies and ultimately start learning more about the VMCE, Veeam Backup and Replication, and then the ancillary products that come to follow. For example, you've got Veeam 1. We just wrapped up, or not just, but we now have our Veeam 1 course that's available, and this is going to give you insight into monitoring as well as analytics for your backup infrastructure. And this matters because this is going to give you that real-time alert historical data. We probably all know what Veeam 1 does, but this allows you to get really comfortable identifying issues far before they become more widespread problems. I mean, we go through in-depth stuff like the dashboards and the infrastructure overview, reports. You got the built-in alarms and custom reports around compliance and capacity planning. The list is almost endless. There's like 300 some reports, a ridiculous amount. So there's plenty of information to be gleaned from that. And it's just a great way to sharpen those skills even further. So again, it's kind of like having that pit crew, for Veeam 1. That's why I kind of consider Veeam 1 as being that pit crew for your backup infrastructure. So it's, again, a great way to make sure you keep tabs on those environments and ensure everything's up to snuff. Now, you also have VRO, which is that Veeam Recovery Orchestrator. It's that disaster recovery. It gives you that autopilot type approach and allows you to automate that disaster recovery program. And these programs start getting more intense. I mean, it's almost like a domino effect. Like once you learn Veeam Backup and Replication, it kind of lends itself into VRO and Veeam 1. So having this step-by-step process allows you to become as well as equipped as possible in order to conquer that backup infrastructure and make sure you have that business continuity plan in place. Again, right, making sure we have that appropriate training. And then there's some other aspects of it. I mean, not directly related to the courses specifically, but you get this all-encompassing approach and knowledge base. Things like hardened repositories. I can't help but bring something like that up in immutability. We've got, ransomware and attacks all rampant, and it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So maintaining that knowledge around immutability, Linux repositories, I think is more than just imperative. So that being said, you have to learn this information somewhere. So why not go to that one source that gives you the ability to gain all that knowledge needed to get the best out of your backup solution?
That's
I think
great.
that kind of answers that question, Fedi. I don't know. I could go on and on. Like I'm a man of few words, but many at the same time.
I do have some questions. For you. First of all, are these three courses already available? Which of them, or how can you consume them?
So your VMCE, Veeam 1, and VRO are available, ready to be consumed. You could literally hang up this phone call. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead because I will forget if I don't bring it up now. But you can download the app. Right? Whether you're iOS, Android, does not matter. So you can download the app through the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and start that training immediately. Again, we're going to talk about options and how these options just give you more flexibility around obtaining that training. But I mean, you could be at line at Starbucks. I know we had a coffee conversation. Why not loop that back around? But you could be in line at Starbucks and actually get some great training just while you're waiting for your latte.
Starbucks if you're in America. Remember that we have good cafeterias in Spain. Yeah. So probably it's 22 of July when we are recording this session, and the ADS that we call the Cyber Secure training is just to be launched very, very soon. The rest of the training you can already consume, and we will have soon some news, because right now you can consume, of course, VMCE instructor-led. You can consume VMCE, Vim 1, and Vim Orchestrator trainings e-learning. But we stay tuned, because we are going to launch very soon a subscription model, so that all of them will be available through a subscription model. Right, Beason?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man, I just want to go off the rails on that. It's an amazing opportunity to get every bit of the training that you want. And again, it's on demand. So it's just a new flavor, a new way of consuming that information.
Yeah, it will be available very soon, weeks rather than months. So stay tuned. Okay. And then, so summarizing, this is what it will happen. We will have this new bundle. We are retiring, we're saying goodbye to the VMCA training. So we are saying goodbye 31st of July. In 10 years, in 10 days, it will not no longer be available, but you still have until November the 30th to take your exam. We're introducing, Beason just described it, this very new bundle of trainings. So you can already attend those sessions, but for the VMCE certification, you have to wait a little bit more until the end of the year. VMCE is available right now, and will be available instructor-led and self-paced with the version 13, probably at the end of the year, or when it depends on when the product will be released. And then we will have next year this new course for architects, but probably you will have to wait until the end of next year to see this certification. So for now, let's concentrate on the VMCE SE training bundle. And I thought it was also a good idea for our audience to clarify the certification steps. So currently, if you have completed the training, both on demand or instructor-led for V12, V11, or V12 3, you are eligible to take the V12 exam. So no matter if you are trained or certified, you can access to the V12 exam. However, once the V13 exam will be available, again, this will happen probably at the end of this year or beginning of 2026, only those trained on V12 or certified on V12 will be able to access to the corresponding exam. If you are certified or training only V11, you will no longer be eligible to take the exam once the V13 version is released. Hopefully this is useful information. So if you are V11 trained or certified, it's your moment to upgrade to V12 certification. And then we have a lot, thanks to Shane, that bring us this very interesting topic to us. We have a lot of tips that we hope they are useful to complete your exam successfully. These tips cover some of the key resources and strategy you should use during your preparation. So let's see exactly how you can take advantage of all these resources. First of all, I thought it was a good idea to mention the laboratories. Laboratories are available. You can purchase your own, your hands-on lab. You can use them to practice. You can build your own labs, or you can just spend time with the products. Or Beason, I know that you also have some interesting tips about the laboratories.
Yeah, I mean, labs were a great tool when I was really gaining my VMCE, VMCA. I mean, it really got me hands-on, but there was a lift involved with hands-on labs in many cases. I mean, I was building it myself and having to use my own resources and technology, and it worked, but it was not very efficient, if I may say. Now what we have with VMCE and all the other courses that are going to be a part of the Veeam University PRO lineup are going to include these click-through labs. And it's a great way to consume a video and get the lessons that you need. Again, being on demand on your own time. But then immediately after you follow that video, there's going to be a click-through lab that walks you through step by step what that instructor did during that lesson. So you can then hone in and finalize and really get some concrete knowledge around how to execute. It's not just the what, but the how. So it caters to both of those different learning types. So you will get access not only during the course itself, but you can quickly get back to those much faster than you could by spinning up a virtual machine or logging into a current environment. And what's great is, again, you're not having to use your own resources. We don't recommend naturally to use your production environment as a way to learn how to use a software. So why not leverage these great click-through labs that are non-invasive, non-destructive, so you can really get the best out of each individual lesson.
Let
That's
me
great.
add to that
Yeah.
real quick. What is his name? I forgot his name. Anyway, we had a webinar just in the fall about hands-on labs Veeam has. To your point, Beason, about not using production to study with Veeam with, there's hands-on labs that Veeam has that you can spin up at any time, and they're free to play with various features. So I just wanted to interject that. It was a very, very good way to practice with Veeam, and it's free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no matter how you want to obtain this knowledge, right? There's some sort of resource, tool, or some individual that can help out with that. This is a great point. Absolutely.
All right, and
I
it was
think there
Eric
is also
Doherty, by the way.
there is also a group of, am I right, in the community? We do also have a group of hands-on lab. I think
Yeah,
so. But we have
yes,
to investigate. Maybe.
yep, there's a page on the community hub for hands-on labs where you can talk about hands-on labs, ask
And your experience.
suggestions or questions or get help or whatever. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so Beason, how are the clickable labs accessible from if you are a Vim University Tsunati customer? So are they like available? Each module has some labs, or how does it work?
That's a good question. So there is, depending on the course and the day and this topic, right? There are some theory where may not involve, going into the software, but the knowledge itself is imperative to have before you go in and start clicking buttons. Each individual lesson that has some sort of demonstration where a screen share is involved in showcasing software, there will be an accompanying click-through lab. So you can literally go through click by click exactly what that instructor did. So there are, I'd say hundreds of them, to be safe to say, between all the courses. So there are more than enough that you can not only consume after each lesson, but it's also easy to go back and review the ones that you see in the past, which there's other tidbits. And each module has not just a video lesson in that click-through labs, but also has other assets, tools, and resources for you to lean on in the moment, and if you need to revert back and view them again later on.
Yeah, that's super cool. All right. So, and also in this list, I add a few more of tips that you can use to get your successful to your certification. So you can also download the exam study guide. This guide is super useful tool for exam preparation, gives you a lot of information about how the exam will look like, and helps you to understand the key topics and help you understand the best way to use your study time. On Vim.com, you have a certification FAQ page. So you have an FAQ page and a tab specific for the certification. That's another valuable resource with very common and practice questions. Also on Vim.com, many people don't know that our knowledge base is also a great resource. You can register and you can receive an email with a weekly summary of the latest knowledge base updates. More tips. Practice exam on your profile. Once you log in, you can receive an idea of the sorts of questions to expect and some indication on where improvement may be needed. Beason, again, Tsunati also provides us support for the practice, even more granular, if I recall it.
Yeah, not to chuckle, but to a nauseating extent. We absolutely have practice exams. And actually, before you reminded me of something when you brought up the study guide. We also have an ebook that accompanies each individual course. And these aren't small little brochures. These are in-depth, consumable, books that you can read that accompany each individual course. So another asset to have in your back pocket there. But going back to those practice exams, yes, even before the practice exams, we have individual knowledge checks for each individual lesson. So as you wrap up a lesson, you go through that click-through lab. You'll see some accompanying assets and resources. And then once you move on to the next lesson, or before you move on to the next lesson, you'll have a quick 2 or 3 question knowledge check. And this is a good way to validate that lesson and the knowledge behind it, that you've obtained it. Plus, it's a good way to just, get a quick, 2-3 bullet points about what that individual video was about. It's a great way of encompassing individual lessons. So you do have those knowledge checks. Then we have multiple modules per course. Taking the Veeam 1 course, for example, we have, I think I did 7 different modules, each module having at least 9 to 12 videos. So at the end of each module, you have an end of module exam. And then at the end of the course, you have an end of course practice exam. And the questions get harder as you go along. So it's a great way to just have that snowball effect or domino effect, if you will, ensuring that you have that confidence in each lesson as you progress through each individual course. So it's a very strategic approach in how we ensured that the knowledge was carried over from one course or one lesson to another.
Great. Hey, I got a couple questions for you all. Federica, Beason, you may know and need to chime in here as well. So Marcus had a question about the VRO and Veeam 1 courses. Are those available just through Tsunati, or are they in-person led trainings as well? And second question, are the exams for those available currently on Pearson right now, or will they be available in the near future, timeline to be determined?
Yeah, so the only instructor led that we have right now is VMCE.
Gotcha.
The 3 trainings that compose the VMCE, I can come back to them, the VMCE bundle, the 3 of them are available in English and e-learning. So what happens is that, e-learning, the 3 of them. What happens is that after each of these training, you got a badge, and you have to complete the 3 badges to get to the VMCE, to be eligible to get to take the VMCE exam. And you also have to be VMCE certified to access to exam. So you have to own the whole stack of the trainings that you see on screen to access to the exam, when will be available at the end of the year.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Beason, did I forget something?
No, you nailed it. I wanted to make sure we came back and mention the fact that Veeam University PRO is not a replacement. Right? We're expanding options. I think this is kind of a product of, the COVID period when we're like, whoa, we can't be in person as much. We may want to find a different solution in order to have that enablement. So this is just giving you more flexibility and more options on how you want to carve out that path for your Veeam enablement.
Absolutely. Yeah, so more tips that we put on this slide is our institutional communications. I am a super big fan of writing articles, reading articles and blogs. So every time that something new comes, be sure that there will be some article from Vim. So you can find plenty of information in our blog, for example, page and article page. And then last but not least, our Veeam community. That's gold for you if you are preparing an exam. I always say that for me, the community is like your neighbor, that you have a wonderful community of neighbor. And if you need milk, if you need salt or anything you need, you can go there and ask questions. They are always available, and it's really a strong, powerful tool that you have. Shane, I think that you can spend a few more information about both in the Veeam community and R&D forums that are also super useful.
Yes, BMCE Study Hall page. That's where you need to go to get a lot of VMCE tips and tricks, blog posts. What kind of blog posts can you find there? A lot of users, community members have posted about their exam experience, like the format of the exam. I wouldn't say questions, and it's all within NDA, of course. Nothing outside outside of the NDA is shared. It's all within NDA, and so in other words, no exact questions are shared. Like for example, how many questions there are, and that's all in the Veeam study guide as well. Some suggestions on how to study, and basically just how a person, like for example, me, I give my format on how I study for exam. It doesn't work for everyone. It's just how I study. I believe I saw Chris on the webinar today, Chris Schiller-Hose. He has posted about his exam experience before as well and what works best for him. And I'll just go ahead and give a shout out to Chris. Chris has a VMCE book or a Veeam training book that he has published in several iterations, several versions that he's had out there. That's another study reference that you can have. What else can you find on the study hall page? Well, practice questions. I've come up with a lot of practice questions and have posted those over the last several months. I've also received practice questions from Veeam technical trainers, and I call those VTTs. And I've posted those weekly, and I'm finished with those now. But shout out to Chris Huss, Veeam technical trainer, who has provided me questions to post on the study hall page. And recently, because I've run out of questions that I'll come up with more later. But some community members have submitted some questions to me directly, and so I'll be posting those weekly as well. I've already posted a couple of them. So those are just a couple examples of some items on the VMCE study hall page that you can have. Of course, webinars like today, this webinar session discussing changes to the certification, exam tips as we're covering. And like I shared before, Eric Doherty gave a webinar on hands-on lab and how best to use that and use it for studying purposes. What other study exam tips can we give you? User guides. Use the user guides to help you, of course. That's the source material that you need to pull from to do your studies. If you do have a home lab, use that. Reach out to your local SE or Rick, maybe even Federica, to get Veeam NFR licenses. And then, of course, community support. On getting back to community, on the community hub, you can ask questions and interact with other community members on certain solutions, features, and problems that you have using Veeam. As far as the R&D forums, I wouldn't say that's really a community site per se, but it is a site where you can interact with Veeam product managers to get further insight on why a certain feature or function of Veeam works the way it does, or even to report a bug that you may have found in a beta build or current build version, or even if you still use a little bit of an older version of Veeam. But all these different areas have their function and purpose for the community as a whole. So
so my tips will be spend time with your preparation of the exam. We all know that VMCE exam is not It's not an easy walk. It's not a walk in the park. Requires time. But we were discussing before with Shane and Beason, that makes you a real differentiator between you and the rest. That makes you as an expert in the room. And so Beason was also saying before that that's a flip in your career when you get to the VMCE certification. Am I right? That was the big differentiator for you.
If you pass VMCE and don't take pride in it, we got to talk. It's not an easy accomplishment. I mean, and you talk about some best practices, not to cut you off, but I mean, all these things come to mind. You mentioned Eric's name, and Eric's got a great podcast. If you're on your way to work, if you're on your way to your exam, open up one of those podcasts, listen to them. It's an amazing way to get tidbits of information. And of course, repetitiveness is really what assists me as well. Also, eat a Snickers bar. I don't think we mentioned this enough before you sit down and take that exam, but don't go in with an empty stomach. It's not just the knowledge that you have, but it's your ability to process it in the moment. So I do recommend, get a bite to eat. For me, it's a Coke and a Snickers bar, and that way I can truly focus on those questions. And taking a moment and taking those options for answers and dissecting them and making sure we're making an educated decision there. So filter out those options and find that best solution, the right answer. And I think that's really the nuts and bolts behind it. And we will prevail without a doubt with all these resources.
That's
good points.
Yeah, so for all you that are already trained, you gotta go to the vim.com and on your page certification, you can click. I'm sorry, I did not bring with me the screenshot, but you just go to the page of the Veeam certification, and on the step 2, you can start from there to book your exam. That will brings you to the page of person view. So all our certifications are protected by a third party, which in our case is person view. So you can choose with the person view to take the exam on site on their facilities, or you can take it online with the person view one. And that's I think it's everything we got here. I don't know if we still have any questions on our agenda.
Yeah, Federica, I went ahead and just shared my screen, what you were talking about on the Veeam site here.
Thank you.
After you log in, under the second section here, you just expand that. And then you can click on the Manage Exam, and it will take you to Pearson to see, from the menu here on the left, you can see your exam history or schedule your exam online or in person.
Can you check? Can you click on the person view where you booked your exam, because there is an important document there. I want to share it if it's available in person at test center or one of the two. Okay, it's not there. Okay. Yeah, so there was a document about the tiering of the countries, because you also have to choose which country, which tier of your country, but it's in this process you will find that document. So, and you can choose the tier of your country. And then if you come back to the certification page on the step 3, once you successfully complete your certification, you can download your badge and your certificate so that you can show it basically on your LinkedIn and let us know that you are successful in your exam.
Yay. So yeah, that's all I have. These were the resources that I had for the VMCE Study Hall page. And that was about it. So I think we answered all the questions. Was there any other questions from the community that you had for Federica, Beason, or myself?
Yeah, so I see Marco Beijing Credly in the future. Credly, we are already affiliated with Credly, so you can, yes, for sure, download your badge also from Credly. Right now, it has been for a while that we were affiliated with them. Liam How much is the subscription model? We still do not know. For those who are partners, there is right now like a promotion. You can check it on your Pro Partner portal. So as soon as you enter in the Pro Partner portal, you will see that there is a page dedicated to subscription. For those who are partners, I suggest you to go there. It's very interesting. But yes, it will be available soon. Hopefully weeks rather months, and be sure that we will do a nice promotion and you will be all informed about it. No, Liam, the exam is not included. As we just mentioned, the exam is part of another third party, which is Person View, so it's a separate process from the training.
All right. Any other questions from the audience there?
And if you're anything like me, questions come after the fact. If I hang up a phone call, it's like, oh, I got this.
Right.
The end of this podcast, this webinar, cast, whatever you want to call it, does not mean this relationship has to end. I think you mentioned Shane, right? You can always reach out to us after the fact. Mine is beason.wilkes@tsunati.com. Open to entertain any types of questions, concerns, clean jokes. And of course, Fedi's an amazing resource to have at Veeam at all things around the training platforms. So I just want to mention that reach out to us with any of those.
Yeah, I
questions.
suggest to put the questions also in the VMCE Study Hall group. If you have a specific question for me or for Beason, please tag us because we do not check all the groups every day. So, but if you tag us, we usually try to respond in 24 hours at most.
Right. And if you have any questions specific to the page or content, any suggestions or anything, you can send me a direct message on the Community Hub, and I'm pretty quick to answer. So feel free to reach out about anything, any suggestions or any ideas you have about the page.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Shane. That
Yeah.
was really great. We had the opportunity to present to the community this news. I hope we will see everyone soon getting the VMCE certification and the new VMCE certification when it's available. And thanks so much, Shane. As usual, you're always very kind with the Vim University PRO.
Yeah. Any closing remarks from you, Beason?
No, just let's keep this train going. The community is what drives this bus, right? And I think this is speaks volumes for what the community does. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. You have us as resources, and I appreciate everybody's time, contributions, the questions. You can definitely tell there's some passion on this call, and I look forward to the next chance we have to do this again.
Awesome. I appreciate everybody for attending. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me directly. Post a question on the VMCE Study Hall page, and you can post a question there for Federica and Beason. Just tag them, and they should be able to reach out to you in several hours to a day or so. And I appreciate your time.
And
have
happy
a
holidays
great,
if you're going
yeah.
holidays.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Take care,
It's
everybody.
great. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Bye.